Now on Sunrise, the latest on a legal challenge to block the National Guard from hitting the streets of Portland. That includes a look at who's lingering outside the ICE building on the south waterfront. Plus, the Portland Marathon is just a day away. The major traffic impacts we'll see on Sunday morning. Your news starts now. Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday. I'm Corey Johnson. We'll get to your headlines in just a minute, but first, let's check in with Chris McGinnis for a first look at your Saturday forecast.
8 o'clock and the sun is up, but it is not out. It is a little cloudy out there, so as we look behind me, you can see our Rose City sky camera showing kind of a slate gray sky over downtown. At last check, we're 58 degrees at downtown. PDX will take you live to the Oregon coast. A live look from our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. This is going to make for a cool time lapse in about a half an hour. We got the fog down low. It's kind of giving a little moody feel there to Cascade Head off in the distance. And last but not least, out in the Dalles, the East Gorge is seeing a little bit of sunshine, but usually from this camera, we can see Mount Hood off in the distance. That has been kind of swallowed up by the cloud cover. So the cloud deck is fairly thick. I mean, it's from about 6,000 to 12,000 feet. Can't see the top of the mountain, so that's how we know that the clouds are released that high. All right, 54 right now in Beaverton. Sherwood checking in with 54 degrees as well. And the big perspective across the state, we had a broken band of showers pass through eastern Oregon in the wee hours of this morning, so temperatures there right now are in the upper 40s. There went that first band of showers. The radar imagery was kind of impressive last night offshore. The showers have dissipated, but the flow remains out of the northwest, so that will keep us in and out of the cloud cover today. And there's enough of a chance of a raindrop or two to mention. So many folks may not see anything, but don't be surprised if you get 1 or 2 spits of rain today. With a few sun breaks, daytime highs will inch into the upper 60s. Corey, tomorrow we wake up to fog. We finish with sunshine, and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday actually look really, really nice. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, looking forward to it, Chris. Well, this morning we're tracking developments around President Donald Trump's order to deploy National Guard troops to protect federal facilities here in Portland. Last night, Portland police made 2 arrests on disorderly conduct charges. Portland police say 2 men were blocking traffic. Plus, we're awaiting a ruling from a federal judge who must decide whether to grant a temporary restraining order, pushing pause on the troop rollout. Now we start at the ICE facility in southwest Portland. Alma McCarty looks at the protests we've seen over the last few months, and especially since the president announced he's sending troops in.
Black Hawk helicopters circle in the sky over South Portland. While on the ground, a small number of protesters wave signs ahead of the arrival of National Guard soldiers.
And I'm down here because I don't feel it's safe to put the National Guard troops on Oregon streets or American streets at all.
Some here as young as 11.
I'm out here because my parent is an immigrant, and I want to come out here and support and show that there should be peace in the world.
The protest, which has garnered national attention, still remains confined to these 4 corners by the ICE facility.
I think it's pointless. There's maybe 100 people out here every night just talking and yelling sometimes, listening to music, eating, having a good time. That's how it's been for 100 days now.
And that 100 people includes not just demonstrators, but journalists, security personnel, Portland police liaison officers, and a handful of right-wing influencers, often from out of town.
They do deserve to have a voice to be down here, and they do have a right to film and put their things out there. And I do agree with what they're doing, but I don't agree with how they're doing it.
One of these influencers, Nick Sortor, arrested and charged by Portland police for disorderly conduct. 2 others arrested on the same charges. Sortor's arrest outraging the White House.
The Department of Justice spoke with that journalist this morning, and they will be launching a full investigation into his arrest.
The amount of dissidence that's being expressed down there, not even directed at immigration or at the facility, but the amount of dissonance being expressed towards one another is at a fevered pitch. And that's where we need to start bringing the temperature down.
At times, conflict escalates between armed agents and protesters. Video from Thursday night captured the moment Leilani Payne was pepper sprayed in the eyes.
I weighed 95 pounds, and these are 4 guys on me. So I put my hands up and I said, I'm just standing here exactly where you asked me to. And then he maced me in the face for 3 seconds straight without warning.
And on Friday, agents tackled a protester to the ground, though the reason is unclear.
If you do come out here, just be safe, okay? You don't want to come out here and have to get taken away.
Meanwhile, a U.S. district judge could keep the National Guard troops out of Portland, at least temporarily. After a 2-hour emergency hearing Friday morning, Judge Karen Emerget considered arguments from the Trump administration and from attorneys for both the state of Oregon and the city of Portland. The state is seeking a temporary restraining order to pause the president's deployment as a pending lawsuit plays out. The president's attorneys arguing that sending federalized troops to Portland is lawful, saying local police don't have control of the situation outside the ICE building. They claim protesters have attacked federal agents and vandalized property. Attorneys for the state, however, arguing that sending National Guard troops to Portland would be unlawful and unnecessary, calling the deployment something based on a fictional narrative. Last night, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield urged Oregonians to not get swept up in fear or political drama while they wait for the judge's ruling.
No matter what the ruling is, it's important as a community that we come together, respect each other, and are peaceful as we're waiting for this process to resolve in our courts.
As for a ruling, Judge Emerget says it could come today. She says she's still catching up on the case reading since she was just assigned the case late Thursday night. The original judge assigned to the case recused himself. And make sure to stay with KGW for continuing coverage of the president ordering the National Guard to Portland. We'll update you as soon as we have that judge's decision on whether to push pause on the deployment. Make sure to look for that here on air, KGW.com and on KGW+. Well, this morning, thousands of nurses and other healthcare professionals at Kaiser Permanente are about to hit the picket line in the Portland Metro. The workers' union says the strike will begin October 14th and will last no longer than 5 days. The current agreement expired at the end of last month, and union representatives say there hasn't been much progress in negotiations. The union represents roughly 4,000 workers, including nurses, lab employees, and other healthcare professionals like physical therapists. And there are renewed calls for safety after a worker was hit by a car and seriously injured on I-84. That crash happened Thursday night in East Portland. The person hit was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. This weekend, the Oregon Department of Transportation is reminding drivers about the rules of the road. Work zone safety laws are clear. Slow down and pay attention. And don't forget the move over law. When you see emergency responders, you need to switch lanes if you can. If you're not able to, make sure to slow down at least 5 miles below the speed limit.
Whenever there is a situation where there are people who are working on or near a roadway, then drivers need to pay really close attention, slow down, make room for those people. It's a dangerous place to work.
Now, police say the driver in that case, 20-year-old Gabriel Dorton, crashed into a barrier after hitting the worker and stayed at the scene, cooperating with law enforcement. He's now charged with assault, reckless driving, and reckless endangerment of highway workers. A big traffic alert for you. We're only about 24 hours away from the Portland Marathon, and that means you can expect some traffic impacts as 12,000 runners hit the streets. The marathon course crosses the Broadway, Burnside, and Selwood bridges. TriMet says 20 bus routes will have detours, and the race crosses the Max line at 4 locations. Now, that means some riders could see slight delays from 5 in the morning until the race wraps up. This is also happening as Portland deals with a potential National Guard deployment, with the marathon route passing near the ICE building on the south waterfront. Race organizers saying earlier in the week they're in contact with Portland police and don't expect those developments to impact the race, at least not at this point.